You of course want to become rich. You want to become strong, successful, smart, interesting, and biggest of all, you want to be important. Because you've spent most of your life kind of just floating about, not really doing anything important, but when you do something important that requires you to take on some amount of responsibility, you feel some level of importance, some level of purpose. And so you want more than that. That's why you try to work hard every single day, trying to achieve these big goals that you set out for yourself, as proof for not only everybody else, but most importantly yourself, that you are important. It's undeniable proof that I am an important man, and through you achieving that and then holding on to it, you feel a sense of purpose. And so you try very hard every single day, you try to work hard, try to do your very best, but you never get any big results from doing that. You always fall back into your old habits. You always fall back on what your old self used to be like. And even though you know what you need to do and you want to achieve it and you want to be able to do it, you don't do it. Now you're saying to yourself, this is dumb, insignificant, and there's no way this is actually going to help me as much as this man is saying it is. And if you actually truly think that, you need to hear it more than anyone else. And here's exactly why. We understand that the bad habits are easy to do and instantly gratifying. So you're rewarded for doing them immediately, and then the rewards taper off quite quickly. More so drop off. They drop off, then you feel no more pleasure, and you may even feel kind of sad, empty, or depressed after doing it. And with the good habits, they're of course difficult to do initially, but as you keep doing them, the pleasure and reward from you actually doing them will go up and up and up, and it may eventually taper off and level out, but you will be much more happy and satisfied than if you did bad habits. And with that being true, if you don't think and just let your emotions lead you to wherever they're going, then honestly, where do you think they will lead you? They will lead you to the things that are immediately pleasurable but bad in the long term, rather than the good habits that are a bit difficult at the start but then much more pleasurable and rewarding in the near future. And that is purely because emotions are a shortcut to action. And that's the main point of thinking before you do hard work. Because when you think, all of the emotions that you're currently feeling will either pass, or you will sit and think long enough for you to look straight through them and realize what you're actually wanting. Because I've realized this with myself. I think every single time I've sat in solitude for an extended period of time, I would sit down, do nothing, not think about anything specific, and just let the thoughts come to me. And immediately, of course, I would think I should go on my laptop, go in the bottom left corner and see what news there is. Just look through the news, because it's easy to see even if it's not that interesting. Or go on YouTube, see what videos there are to watch. Stupid, instantly gratifying stuff like that. But even 2 minutes after I have those thoughts, I'm able to analyze what I was just thinking and realize that no, what I actually want is to feel some sort of pleasure or feel some sort of reward for doing something. And of course, the best thing that I could do for that is work towards my goals. And after I analyze those thoughts, I don't think about doing the instantly gratifying bad habits in that session of solitude again. All I think about is doing the hard work, doing what I need to do, perhaps pushing myself to do more, achieve more, how can I improve? Everything to do with that. Because of course that is much more important than looking at news, watching YouTube, eating junk food, shitty snacks, whatever. And then maybe after 10 minutes of sitting in solitude and thinking, I'm nearly itching to go do something productive and apply myself to something hard, be productive, work hard and improve myself. And I get that itching feeling to go do something, all because I sit and think. The emotions that I'm feeling to do something instantly gratifying either pass, or I think about them long enough to see their true colours, understanding that I only want that instantly gratifying thing because it's easier and faster to get than something that takes longer but is more gratifying. And because I'm sitting thinking and I'm in no rush to act, I'm going to think about what's best for me. And if I know that the delayed gratification activity that is ultimately more rewarding is there and I'm able to do it over something else that isn't as pleasurable, I'm going to pick the delayed gratification activity because it is more pleasurable, more rewarding, and I get closer to achieving the goals that I've set out for myself. And again, that only happens because I'm sitting, thinking, doing nothing, not in a rush to act, which means that the emotions pass and I do what I know I need to do. Even just recently, I got myself into the mindset of that I need to do the hard work, and what I should do is just not think about it and go do it. And sure, that's kind of good. Yes, I'm going to be doing the hard work without really thinking about it, so there may be not as much mental struggle, but then I'm setting myself up to do things without thinking about them. And so then when I felt the urge to click off, look at shitty news articles that aren't actually that interesting or important, I go do that. because I've got myself in the frame of mind of acting without thinking. And it honestly doesn't really make sense, because if I need to do something and if I thought about it long enough, I would think myself out of doing it, then I'm weak. So there wasn't even a good long-term plan of me doing that. So I understand very, very clearly that the best way to approach hard work is to sit and think. Because in this modern age, maybe like 95% of your emotions aren't going to be useful or beneficial for you to follow. Purely because there are so many replacements for the things that we actually want in life that are so much easier to get. And so again, before you start doing the hard work, sit in silence and think. You will be able to think clearly and critically about what you actually need to do, and then it'll become so much easier to actually go do it, because you will have seen past your emotions, or they might have completely passed instead. And the session of solitude before you start doing the hard work may include your journaling or your meditation. Because as you do both of those things, you're going to get thoughts coming up in your head. Because the actual actions of meditating and journaling aren't the most exciting thing. It's quite slow, it drags out, it's kind of menial, and so thoughts are going to come up in your head to go do something else or to go do something after. And because you're in this mindful present state while you do those, you're going to realize that. And then you could even journal it down and journal all of your thoughts about this thing, or you could just think about it and think your way through it. And so if you want to become that rich, successful, muscular, high value man who is ultimately important because of all the responsibility that he takes on in his life, and then feels incredible purpose from doing so, you need to sit and think. And of course the results that you're going to get are only going to get bigger and bigger as you do this more and more. So you may not get the absolute best outcome after your first solitude session. And so with that being the case, I want you to sit in solitude and think for 30 minutes before you start the work or studying that you need to do. Sit and think about what needs done, what you're feeling like doing, and what you're ultimately going to do. And do that for 2 weeks in a row, and then let me know in the comments how that all went, how much more productive you've been, how much hard work you've done, and how much time you've saved in those 2 weeks from not doing bad habits and wasting your time because of this solitude session that you've had that clears your mind and helps you so much to go do what you know you need to do. Put in enough time and attention, because that will make anything into reality.